Hello, everybody. This is Dedra with Paper Crafts and Planners, and this is part 3. I almost put up 2 fingers. I don't like a toddler. This is part 3 in my series on getting back to the basics in my planner. I will link part 1 and 2 below because they're very important to kind of set up for what I'm going to talk about today. So part 1 is about getting back to the systems that I know work for me. Part 2 is about customizing your planner to make it work for you. And that's very important. I'm still tweaking this one. I'm still adding sections as things come up, and I'm like, oh, that would be so much more convenient if I had a section for that. And maybe I'll go over some of the new sections in a later video, but not today. So this video, this part 3, is all about balance and productivity over busyness. You know, I can be busy, but it doesn't mean I'm productive. And I'm sure a lot of people struggle with that. I can also be so focused on one thing that I'm kind of put on blinders to the other important things in my life. You know, I have big goals and big visions for my life, and they're not just in one section of my life. They're in my life overall. They're in my health. They're in my my home, my finances, my family, not just my business. So there are times when it is almost impossible to find balance for me, and I'm sure for anybody during certain times. For instance, when you're going through a life-threatening illness, and I've been there, and you're in treatment, your life goes right down to focusing on this one thing. You have to. You don't have a choice. Everything, by the way, just falls by the wayside because it's all about survival mode. And you can be in survival mode for a lot of different reasons. Maybe you're lost a job, and survival mode for you is you have to focus on finding more money. You have to focus on bringing in income. So there are times when other things slide, and it has to happen. But for the most part, it's a good idea to really look at your goals for your whole life. And so August has been one of those times where it was hard to find balance. And that is because, as some of you know, I've opened up my own shop. And so it took a lot of energy to get that done, get those first orders shipped out. It really, I wanted to make them special. I wanted to make them professional, and I worked really hard at that. And so, that took a lot of focus. But I found too that I was busy and not as productive as I could have been. I didn't need to stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? I didn't need to get up early and get back at it. I could have been more productive. So a few things I'm working on towards that. I just want to show you my weeks and how they went. And really the systems that I set back up are working beautifully for me. Going into September. So how I'm going to work things to where I'm less busy, more productive, and I can fit in, like you notice I've got walking down 3 nights a week. There's no reason I can't walk 3 nights a week. My goodness. But I let all those kinds of things slide as I've been really hyper-focused on my business. So I've started adding more things in, and I'll slowly add them in September to get back to all my goals. So one thing I've done is I've hired a coach. He is helping me solidify what steps I should be doing, what I should be working on to move my business forward. He's a business coach, not a life coach. Move my business forward, and so that I can focus on what is important. Stop being so busy and start focusing on what's important and get those tasks done. So you'll notice I only have 3 to 4 tasks each day. This day I'm going to be watching grandchildren, my 2 youngest, who are a handful right now. They're at those stages. They're really a handful. From 10:30 to 4 for my daughter who's gone back to school. And I know I've talked about that before. So, and I'll do 3 days a week. And so it's about 20 hours away from, my business, my life, my goals a week. That's fine. I love that. But that means I need to take even more advantage of the hours I have to work on my goals. So you'll see up at the top, tasks that I need to do. Middle, appointments, special events, that kind of thing. Down here is my content. And my content is where my coach has said I really need to focus. I did a Facebook Live last week on Saturday. This is Sunday. So I did a Facebook Live on Saturday. That was huge for me. It was nerve-wracking, huge, all of that. I will link to my Facebook below. I posted it the next day on YouTube, so that did get done. Also, I had a video on YouTube that way. But he is helping me know what I need to be doing. And I knew some of it and I just wasn't doing. But now I have an accountability partner, right? Somebody's going to hold me to it. And the other thing I'm doing, and I started doing this before, but every 2 weeks, one of my daughters comes out, and not the one with the kids in the school, comes out and gets the heavy cleaning done, the floors, the cobwebs that form in the corners, the tops of the ceiling fans, those kinds of things that it's just time consuming and your time is better spent someplace else. So I pay her to do it, but it is well worth it to me to not focus on that, because I tell you what, nowhere in my big goals does it say there will be no cobwebs in my house. It says my house will be comfortable and it will be as clutter-free as possible in my mindset, minimalism to me. But nowhere does it say I'm going to hustle every week to keep it clean. Nowhere. So I can let that go. So I hope, as moving forward to September, and I already have my monthly looking like this, but I don't have my content put in it or any of my MITs written down or what I'm going to be reading for the month. I'm still working on this. And I better get it done before Saturday, right? But I am working towards more balance next month. And we're going to talk about that a lot moving forward. Working on more productivity, less busyness, and seeing if I can cut some of my hours down on my business so that I can, and hyper focus on being productive. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll follow me as I move forward to September and I work on being productive over busy, and I work on finding more balance so that I can see movement in all of my goals in my life, not just my business. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and happy planning.